How's it going? My name is Matt Riccardi. I don't know how much Cal introduced me, but just a short introductory. I'm from New Jersey. I'm 30 years old. I've got a very long history of public service. I was in the United States Marine Corps for 4 years. I served 25 months overseas. When I got out of the United States Marine Corps, I joined the ranks of the Liberal Indoctrination Enterprise, which is college. I went to Brookdale Community College, New Jersey, and I got a degree there in history and political science. I went from there and I got over into the University of Pennsylvania, which is an Ivy League school. I transferred there for a year, and after a year I decided to give up the Ivy League to take on being a father, which was something that was unexpected, but something that was definitely more valuable and more important to me than an Ivy League degree. So I did that for 3 years. I'm still doing that now, being a father, and I love it. I've got 3 children now at this point with my wife, and after 3 years, I decided to go back and finish that degree because you don't want to leave that thing, just hanging about. The military is the reason why I went into the military was to get that degree. So, in my mother's good honor, I could not, leave that stone unturned. So I had to go back and finish it. I'm currently finishing my final semester at Hofstra University. I've been accepted to the law school and to the business school there, which I am not going to attend at this current time because I've chosen to run for the governorship of New Jersey. I have chosen to take on this role under the Constitution Party's banner. I originally, great, thank you. I originally was looking to run unaffiliated or whatever, or independent, because that's my group, right? We're millennials and we don't want to be identified by anybody. So I don't want to be identified by anybody, but I chose to call a few parties and see if maybe I could gather some support, maybe build a coalition of the parties against the Democrats and Republicans. And during that time, a few parties were very receptive. They called, we had a phone meeting, and they jumped on board and they said, yeah, let's do it. When I went and I met with them, the choice was very clear. Cal and Larry were fantastic. They're the party chair and the vice chair. Cal's wife is phenomenal. She's a wonderful person as well and been very helpful throughout this entire process. We sat down, we discussed running as a Constitution Party member, and the rest was history. The Constitution Party is a fantastic party. It's a party that I would highly advocate for everybody that you guys shared this message with. Why? Because everything in the Constitution Party, as far as the message and as far as the creed, goes one for one with what our founding fathers founded this nation on. And most importantly for myself and for every one of you here, I would assume, is the fact that there is a right to life, which is important. So we have life, we have liberty, and then we have the pursuit of happiness, which is found in the fact that you have liberty and found in the fact that you can pursue things like prosperity. You can pursue freedom to the extent of which it doesn't intrude or attack other people's freedoms. And I think that's the American dream. That's what we're missing a lot of in this country right now, because I guess you don't want to blame a certain generation, but right now what we've got going on is we've got an entire flip of ideology and morals and principles from what America once used to have. And I've seen that from the time that I joined the Marine Corps, from the time that I got out, when I started going to college. I've seen that growing more and more on college campuses. And as I've seen that and I've witnessed it, and I have my son, and then I'm sitting here, I'm watching the world explode all around us in this country, especially with regards to politics, you wonder, what are you going to do about it? So for me, the choice was very clear. I decided to jump in and to throw my name out there. Why do I think that it is important for myself and for my generation and for so many other people to do the same thing? Everybody keeps asking, why are you running for governor? Why would some random 30-year-old with no experience step in to run for governor? The most powerful governorship in the state, arguably, with the amount of power that the New Jersey governor has. Why in the world do you think that you should do such a thing? Why not run for committee or assembly or all this other stuff? And while I appreciate all of that, and Cynthia gave a great speech yesterday talking about the importance of climbing that ladder, I've climbed a lot of ladders in my life. I've fallen off a lot of ladders in my life. I've run a lot of races in my life, and I've never run a race to lose. I am not in this because I am deciding that I just want to make a statement. I am not in this to decide because I decided that it would bring me some kind of popularity or notoriety. I'm in this to win it. I don't run races so that I can lose them, and I don't stand on a platform so that I can go ahead and become a celebrity. I could care less about any of that stuff. The important thing for me is that I'm looking at the way that things are going in this nation. I think you all would agree that things are not looking so good. in this past election, we heard over and over again something that I continue to tell people, but I'm going to tell you today. We heard over and over again, you've got to vote for the lesser of two evils. At which point in our lives did we ever vote for the lesser of two evils and evil did not win? Evil wins every single time. It does, yeah. And whether or not we like who won in President Trump, whether or not we like that, the fact of the matter is that if you went to the booth, which most people did, saying, I've got to vote for the lesser of two evils, you just made a terrible choice. If you voted for one of those two people, you made a terrible choice. And I'm here to tell you that, unfortunately, because you should never, ever walk into something thinking that I'm not going to benefit, or people or my country or my family are not going to benefit from the decision that I'm about to make. Ever. Every time that we go and we make a decision like our founding fathers had to, you should make that decision in compromise if necessary, but to benefit yourself, your family, and your nation. That's the whole purpose of why America became the greatest nation in this world. It was because of founding fathers who sat there and sacrificed everything. Many of them, you hear the stories over and over again, who finished their lives impoverished, who finished a horrible death. Their families were slaughtered during the Revolutionary War. And today we spit on their name, and when their blood dries up in the dirt in vain as a result of horrible policies and policy making and corruption that's run rampant. And how and why? Because we've allowed it. Every single person in this room in one way or another has allowed it. Maybe we didn't give that extra inch. You may have been a fighter your entire life for your purpose and for your country and for patriotism, but maybe you didn't give that extra inch when it was time to step up and say, I need your help today, or I need your help today. We've got to make this difference. I, for one, refuse to let that ever be my existence. And that's not to say that I haven't. Oh, I have. Trust me. I've turned, though. I've made that transition, right? The Bible calls us and tells us to repent. To repent means to turn from one way and turn to the other way being towards God. And I'm a Christian. I believe in that firmly. If you're not, that's perfectly fine. We're in America. That's the whole purpose. If you don't want to be a specific religion or you don't want to have a certain ideology, you don't have to. That's the point. And we can still be friends, and we can still be countrymen, and we can still be family members. We can still get along. That's okay. But what we need to do is we need to turn from one way to the other. And the way that we need to turn to is to the Constitution. That's where we find the Constitution was birthed and founded in Judeo-Christian principles. It was birthed and founded in a tremendous wealth of knowledge that we think that we have because we make smartphones these days. But in reality, we've gotten more and more degenerative in terms of intellect as the years have gone by. So much so that each and every one of us, right, at some point or another, have been victims of some kind of fake news or alternative news which has twisted our minds on a certain subject and made us think a certain way about something. It happens all the time. I'm seeing it every single day in college campuses where they are taking these things and they are using them to indoctrinate and to turn children into ideologues for things that they don't even know, right? So you have all these people that are out there chanting for globalism and for the death of patriotism and nationalism as though being a patriot is a bad thing. I'm considered a fascist because I fought for my country, because the reason why I chose to fight for my country is because I love my country. I'm a fascist? Really? Since when? That's what's happened, though, and it's happening over and over again. And if 30-year-olds don't step up, how many 30-year-olds are there in this room? And who's younger? There's two, right? Yeah. I mean, that's a good question. That's a good. The point is that we've got to start revitalizing the youth of this country. Otherwise, what's going to happen? They are indoctrinating these children faster and faster than we realize. And if you've got children in the public school, it doesn't just go in college. My friend here, he's a high school teacher, and he'll tell you each and every. I'm sure there's teachers in this room. He'll tell you each and every single day what goes on. They are taking their ideologies that they've been indoctrinated by the college campuses and by this transformation, this transforming society, and they're breeding it into the minds of these young children. I could write a book here right now in about 20 minutes, a nice, probably 100-page book, if I could write that fast, about all the indoctrination that is going on over and over and over again. Why is it why is it my purpose to sit here and tell you that? Is to wake you up and let you know that when you go home today, you need to get on that coalition building. We need to reach our arms across this country from one from one American patriot to another, regardless of whether or not you have conservative ideals or liberal ideals, one way or another. As long as you have what's best for America in your heart, and liberty, right, and prosperity, and freedom, which is the most important thing, then that's okay. But when we start sitting here and start trying to twist our ideologies to match something that we've internalized as being right, that's not patriotism. That's not being a true American, right? That's trying to twist and formulate something that is not within the Constitution and what we've been taught and what our founding fathers built this nation on. So why am I here, and why am I giving you this quick speech and trying to get you guys amped up? Because I'm telling you from the eyes of a 30-year-old. I don't know how many 30-year-olds, these days it's all, this is what they look like, right? This is what they look like. It is. It's what they look like. The college campus is like wall, pond. That's what happens. Cord. So, but that is what happens. That's what's happening. And so you don't get to speak to 20-year-olds and 30-year-olds these days, because that's just the way that things are going, along with technology, along with the way that parenting has evolved, or if you want to even use that word, the way that what has happened to parenting. So I'm here to tell you that I've stepped up. My friend here, Mike, has stepped up. There are people here that are willing to step up in this nation. We need to coalesce around them and find them in the states that we're in, from Missouri, Alabama, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Texas, California, Nevada, Minnesota, every single place from high to low, down from Maine to Florida, across the plains, the beautiful plains I just drove across yesterday for 14 hours. Beautiful America. We need to coalesce, get these people together. We need to do it with the wisdom that each and every one of us has from our parents, from their parents, that has transcended generations, and we need to talk and be honest about what is going on and what we want the future to look like. And for me, the future looks like the Constitution and the Constitution Party. For me, the future looks like less corruption and more freedom. And in New Jersey, that's a big thing, because New Jersey is seen as the most corrupt state in the country. And for me, I believe personally that we've got a huge problem that's coming to a head in New Jersey. We're number one in taxpayer burden. We're number one in debt. We're number one in people leaving. Number one in business leaving. We're the worst in business economy. We're the third worst for veterans. The worst for veteran employment. The worst for veteran homelessness. The worst for veteran hopelessness. We are the worst in a lot of things. So my platform in New Jersey is to put New Jersey first for once. And what does that mean? That means that it's time to turn around and stop putting corruption and corruptitions, as I call them. That's politicians, corrupt. You get the point. We need to stop letting them be first and stop allowing them to dictate and to twist these platforms and these programs, as we heard about yesterday as well. All the waste that comes from the budgets that are overrun, from money that's handed out as political favors, from jobs that are opened up as political favors. That money could be back in the pockets of people if we just decided that government wasn't really that important. But why do people continue to vote for Republicans and Democrats? Why? Because it's a system that they've been bred into. I am here not necessarily to break the system, but in reality, if I can break that system, I want to shatter it. I want to take one shot, one kill, and put that system to rest. That is my goal. That is my job. I need each and every one of you from across the 50 states to jump on board. You've got my support in anything that I can do for you and for your parties throughout your states and for the platforms that you're looking to jump on. You've got my support 100%. I will do everything in my power to speak for you and to be a voice that comes alongside you and coalesces with you, as long as you'll do that for me, please. What I need you to jump on board and tell everybody in your states, one patriot, one Constitution Party member to another, that we need to go ahead and we need to band and we need to get behind one another in our platforms. We need to get candidates running so that we can sidestep these awful messages from the Republican and Democratic parties, and we need to bring the message of freedom, liberty, and prosperity back to America, state by state. If you can jump on our page, you can like our page, you can share our page. It's facebook.com/Riccardi, RICCARDI, the number 4, NJ. If you put that after the slash of facebook.com, you'll find us. Jump on board. It should be Riccardi for Governor 2017. Like that page. Share that page. Tell your friends. If you help us build this legitimacy, the people in New Jersey will look at this third-party candidate who's 30 years old and out of his mind, and they'll say, there's 10,000 people following this guy. There's 20,000 people following this guy. I want to go ahead and follow this guy too. Maybe something good to say. If we can do that, there's more of us than there are of them. Them, because I know the videos are going to circulate and people are going to, he's a racist, he's a this is, he's a that is. Them be the people that are against freedom, liberty, prosperity, integrity, honesty. That means the people that like lying and taking your money. That's who the them is. Anybody that's opposite of the of what patriotism truly is, what the Constitution endows upon us, that's a them. That's not somebody that I think cares at the heart for America, or cares for their state, or cares for any of the things that we've been taught as children to love, the things that are deeply American. So what I need is I need you guys to back me up. I'm willing to back you up in every way, shape, and form. I'm willing to stand with you if you'll stand with me. I think we've got a great opportunity here. Let's grow this party. Let's get that message circulating across the nation. Let's stand hand in hand for everything that we've just talked about. Let's not vote for the lesser of two evils anymore. Let's get candidates running that don't believe that we should vote for the lesser of two evils anymore. Let's start breaking down this system called the taxation system that's been robbing people. They have that funny meme or that saying now, taxation is theft. Yeah, taxation is needed for certain things, right? Wonderful. Because we've built a government, we've built a country where taxation is needed now. That's what because we have so much debt, we have so many things, so we have so many ways to pay for it. I'm not an advocate for taxation. What I believe is that we need to start cutting back every single margin possible, and we need to do it over time, and we need to get ourselves back to being free from being stuck and hooked on to this system of slavery that the government has built up, and built up in our democratic city, these Democrat-run cities, over and over again. I want to free those people from those cities, those people that, like St. Louis, that continue to vote Democrat over and over and over again because they're lied to each and every single day. Every day they're told that the Republican or the conservative or the person on the other side is against you, and they want to go ahead and they want to break you down, and they want to take everything from you, and it's all because of racism or xenophobia or thisophobia. It's not. That has nothing to do with it. I am telling you honestly, word for word right now, you can hold me accountable in November. My goal is to step foot into these cities in New Jersey and across the country and start breaking the bonds of slavery that government has put on each and every single one of us, regardless of our skin color, regardless of our religion, regardless of our personal beliefs. The education system is a slavery system. They're indoctrinating children. They're taking our money and pretending to put it into something that is not working. It's failing every single day. Our children are being failed by our system. And what are we doing about it? We've got to break it. There's so many different systems that I'd love to jump into and talk about. But my main point for you this morning, my main point for you in terms of standing together is to coalesce and build a coalition together. I'm here today. You guys are here today, you fabulous ladies and gentlemen. And I would appreciate your support in any way. I'd love to talk with you. I'd love to work with you. And I hope that together, in lifting up this Constitution Party platform, that one by one we can make this a national thing, and that one by one we will see the fruit and the benefits that come from it. Thank you guys so much for your time. I really appreciate it. You have a wonderful and blessed day. Thank you.